Knick of Time Show. Go check out that show. It's a great show. It's a great show.
New York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
Knicks lose to the Pistons 121-90. This is probably the most upset I've been at these New York Knicks in like 4 years. Didn't compete on either end, offensively or defensively. We got Mike Brown here to pretty much run our offense, take us to the next level offensively. We still look like absolute crap without Jalen Brunson. It's crazy. It's crazy to know that, you're looking at the game and going, man, Jalen Brunson is shooting way too much. He's shooting way too much. This is not sustainable. He should pass the ball around. But then you look at the game, you realize why he's not even passing the ball, because it looks like there's no more off-ball cutting. It looks like whatever off-ball movement is happening, no one's getting open. It looks like no one can make a play outside of Jalen Brunson. It looks like we don't have a ball handler not named Tyler Kolek. Everything falls apart offensively, thus causing 15 points in the third quarter alone. It looks like a complete catastrophe, and I'm not sure what's happening. The Knicks lost 4 in a row, Lee. 4 in a row. We had not lost 4 in a row in I don't know how many years. 3 years? 4 years? Something has to change, and all this happened without Jalen Duren in the lineup. On a back-to-back for the Pistons. There is no excuse for a performance like this. They out-hustled us. They out-muscled us. They wanted it more. And it's crazy how this team wants it more, knowing that we've been on a 3-game losing streak and we still couldn't answer the bell. I'm pissed off.
Masked off, JLS. The old Lee Escobedo is back because I'm effing pissed. This is not about circumstantial loss. This is not about moving that further in the standings from the Detroit Pistons. This is not about this affecting the wider scheme or context of this New York Knicks season. This is about effort. This is about a lack of cohesion. This is about a lack of standing on the principles that got you here. That got you the number 2 seed in the East, which was finding, probing, hitting the right guy, which is not just settling for the first thing the defense gives you within a set, and also not relying on JB to bail you out all 4 quarters. This was an awful effort on both sides of the ball. This is the type of loss that gets the trade machines going. This is the type of loss that gets people doubting Leon Rose's roster construction. This is the kind of loss because people doubting Mike Brown as being an improvement to Tom Thibodeau. This type of loss that gets people doubting whether Karl-Anthony Towns is a championship caliber second option. This is the kind of loss that gets people doubting whether we got fleeced, giving up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. There's a lot to talk about, and none of it's good.
Yeah. You just go all the way down the line. OG Anunoby. Minus
Trash.
31, 5 points. Karl-Anthony Towns. Minus 21.
Fat trash.
6 points, 1 rebound in 22 minutes. Mitchell Robinson, minus 10. At least he had 10 rebounds. He had a little bit of defense. That was the most defense I saw tonight, was a little bit from Mitch, really.
Yes, agreed.
Mikal Bridges, minus 13, 10 points, 4 of 11. Jalen Brunson, minus 18. He had 25 points. Deuce McBride, 17 points, minus 3. Jordan Clarkson, minus 14. Kevin McCullough, minus 17. Not your fault, Kevin, but the coach. Can we put to bed it was a Kevin McCullough, Jordan Clarkson, and Jalen Brunson trio, with McCullough guarding Cade, who is 10 feet taller than he is. I guess he's thinking he has a great point of attack defender. he had a couple of good plays, but I just feel like you can't have McBride or McCullough just guarding Cade full time. I don't understand that. We're too small in that position to like there's certain guards you can go small on when the guy is just like a post up guard who uses his strength and bully ball. You gotta go away from the small guards. It's Anunoby and Mikal Bridges at best. It is not McCullough. It is not Deuce McBride. It is not a 3-guard lineup when you have somebody bullying somebody out there with Jalen Brunson. That is not the lineup to go. I didn't understand that at all. It took way too long for him to change that. And I was just like, Coach, I know you like McCullough, and I love what McCullough's done for this team, but what are you doing? Can we chill with the undersized guards guarding these big guards?
That might be a structural issue, Jay Ellis. I think that's a roster issue. Not having enough height, period, on this team. Where the hell is Mohamed Diawara? Why the hell has Mohamed Diawara been benched? He has not done anything specifically worse than any other player on this roster for him to earn DNPs unless there's a major injury or psychological situation going on that we, the fans, don't know about. But he has not played any less worse defense than anyone else on this roster. So why is he getting DNPs? It makes no damn sense. This is not piss off some people. I told y'all Cade Cunningham was better than Jalen Brunson. He is the MVP of this season. His team has less on-ball scoring than the Knicks. His team has less guys but to put the ball on the floor and create their own shot at one of the various levels of NBA scoring, but he gets them involved. He can go off at an efficient level tonight. What were the stats? 11 to 17, 3 or 4 from three-point line, 4 or 5 from the field. He can be efficient as a scorer and still rack up 13 dimes and raise the floor of the guys around him who are neither shooters or snipers or athletic rim dunkers or mid-range jumpers or post scorers. They're very low-ceiling players that he makes excellent in the right positions because his mind is always on the pass first. He can score, but he can also pass, and he plays elite championship-level defense, something Jalen Brunson is incapable of doing.
I'm not even going that far, and I'm only saying that because I'm not going that far. I'm only saying that's because we was getting cooked when he was on the damn bench.
Agreed.
Their guys was just straight up running up the court on fast breaks and getting 6 and 7 offensive rebounds and scoring on us. I felt like despite them not having shooters, they were still able to score and get buckets. Meanwhile, we couldn't even get outside of Jalen Brunson. No one can even get us out of our sets except for Tyler Kolek. So a game like this is actually a Tyler Kolek not like Tyler Kolek diamond. It's a call for Tyler Kolek to have more minutes because even though Tyler Kolek didn't have some grand game, we were actually able to get into more offense when he was on the floor. It's like, yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Cade Cunningham and all that other stuff.
You can't.
But it's like, better. I'm definitely not. But when it's Cade Cunningham is on the bench and we're still getting smacked in the teeth and they don't have Jalen Duren and we have Karl Anthony Towns and we're still getting turnover and they're still running better offense than them, then I'm just like, what's up with the team?
Right. And JL, is that I agree. The Detroit Pistons are better for the New York Knicks right now. This is not the same Detroit Pistons team that we beat last year in a very tight 6-game series. Let's not forget that series was already close. I think this team is even better now than they were before. The 3 young kids have all taken a step forward. Cade has become an MVP. This is why I said on Cameron's channel, I got a lot of hate repeatedly for saying Cade Cunningham is better. 13 assists to no assist. Jalen Brunson, 0 assists, 6 turnovers. Conversation is done.
Nah, man. What are we doing though? Like, who on the team is doing anything outside of Jalen Brunson, dog?
Also sets the example, though, Jay Ellis, of playing defense. You cannot rally the troops when you, as a leader, play the worst defense on the team. You can't inspire anyone to play harder or better when you're getting cooked by everybody, every possession, 4 quarters straight, Jay Ellis.
When everybody's loading up on Jalen Brunson for 45 minutes a game and no one can dribble the damn ball outside of you, what the hell is he supposed to do?
Also
like, come on, bro. Like, He has no damn help out there. Nothing. Karl Anthony Towns, he's getting paid $59 million a year.
Agreed.
He can't even depend on him to do anything else. And you're the second player. Mikal Bridges, he's supposed to be a ball handler, and he can't dribble 2 dribbles in a row. What are we talking?
I agree with you, J. Ellis, but it's Brunson's job to get those guys the ball, and he failed at that today.
What happens when they have the ball, Lee? What happens when he didn't have the
garbage.
ball? What happened when
it's Cohen's responsibility? It's also Brunson's responsibility to find him in the spots the same way that Cade was able to do that for his teammates. Brunson cannot do that for his teammates when the defense is at this level. This is championship level basketball defense. He can do it against New Orleans. He can do it against Miami. He can do it against Brooklyn. He can't do it against this Pistons team because this Pistons team is better than the Knicks in every way. Better first option, better defense, better team.
What happens when you don't have another Doyle handler to do anything outside Jalen Brunson? He's the only guy carrying the damn team and doing any offensive play outside. It's Jalen Brunson and Tyler Kolek, and that's it. And that's absolutely it. OG Anunoby is dribbling the ball off his foot. Mikal Bridges is shooting fadeaway jumpers. Is not going anywhere. He's 4'11". Deuce McBride can't handle the ball at all. He came in as a point guard. He's become a shooting guard. He's a spot-up guard. But when you have a lineup of Deuce with Jalen Brunson, with Clarkson, and you have Jalen Brunson off ball, nothing happens.
Agreed.
Nothing. It's like we don't have. I feel like we haven't had legit offensive options outside of Jalen Brunson. Meanwhile, Cade can end up actually chilling off ball and conserving energy. That's what I'm saying right now. Cade can afford to sit down. Like I feel like he wasn't able to sit down. Do you see what happened when Jalen Brunson actually sat down for 10 minutes? Did you see what the hell happened? It's like there was no chance. It's like he used all his energy to score the ball. The game is going. I'm looking for passing lanes. I'm seeing cuts. I'm seeing things happening, but I don't see any clear passing lanes. I'm seeing somebody's on the other side of the court, and they're trying to whip a pass 24 feet across the court to get poked away for a turnover. So, like, what's happening out here with our offense? Is it becoming too predictable? What's happening right now?
We moved away from the principles, the constant cutting, the constant relocation. We moved away from all that. And I blame Jalen Brunson because what I was watching was hero ball. He wanted to go out there and make a statement, and he failed. The statement was a massive, worst loss of the season. This is on him, number one.
How many pick and roll?
Hold on, JLS. Hold on. The only thing worse than Cat only scoring 6 points is Brunson with 0 assists. That's the only thing worse than Cat with 6 points. It's Brunson with 0 assists. You did not make your teammates better. Yes, your teammates suck. So make them better by getting the ball into spots where they're at their best.
What is the basic principles of basketball? A pick and roll, right? How many screens did we run that led to nothing? Nothing. Every time I seen the screen, there was nobody open. Not the screener, not the off-ball guy. There was nobody open. So if I'm running 3, 4, 5 screens in a row and there's no passing lane, what do you do at that point? That's what I'm seeing. That's what I was seeing the whole game. I'm seeing screens over here, screens over there, and there's nobody open. What do you do then? You shoot the ball.
I think way to break it down, though, brother. There's a lot of ways to get guys open. That pick and roll coverage, I'm assuming you're talking about specifically with Karl Anthony Towns. That's not the only way to get guys open, too. People were, specifically, OG Anunoby was cutting. Mikal Bridges in the first half was cutting. Brunson was he wanted one-on-one with Cade Cunningham. They were trading buckets. He got caught in the flow of that ISO offense, and Mike Brown did nothing to deter him. He didn't make the substitution and sit him down. He didn't pair him with Kolek, so you have another secondary ball handler out there. He let him do his thing, Tibbs-esque, and we got absolutely obliterated. I texted in the group chat. They want Brunson to go off. They're allowing him to get his because that's not equal a loss. It's unsustainable for 4 quarters against this level of defense, and it worked. We played right into his hands, and that's Brunson's fault.
Nah, I'm not holding the lead. Look, listen. First few plays of the game when Jalen Brunson, right? What do we do next? We went to Karl Anthony Towns off-ball movement. That led to one layup. After that, turnovers. turnovers. There was every off-ball action with Karl-Anthony Towns in action at the top of key led to a turnover or no passing lane whatsoever. So then good happens. Karl-Anthony Towns decides, I'm going to try to go one-on-one. He gets another turnover, whether it be offensive foul, pretty much all damn offensive fouls. Like I didn't see any of the off-ball movement that we said we was going to do to get things going. I didn't see any of that tonight. There was nothing off-ball. There was no off-ball action working. And you can credit the Detroit Pistons defense or whatever, but I was like, I don't understand. I didn't see anything really working for us today.
We have played, especially under Tom Thibodeau when he was coaching, really good defensive teams that were like top 3 in the standings in Cleveland and Boston and Detroit last year. We played them, and we still have found ways to score. We found ways to get people in opportunities to where they're effective, whether it's a low block or the top of the key for above the break threes. There was none of that, not just because I agree with you, not just because of Brunson's inability to be a playmaker tonight, but other guys failed at their role. Mikal Bridges, another night of passive offensive lack of production. Another night of OG Anunoby showing he has no bad inside the perimeter arc. Another night of Karl-Anthony Towns. Is still in his mind since Christmas. I don't know what's going on in our guy's head. Is Julius Randle part 2? I feel like there's something problematic mentally and how soft and unassertive he is on both ends of the floor. Absolute cone. And Mitchell Robinson, I agree with you. The only good defender tonight, especially guarding the seals and the entry passes into the paint. He was the only one in the right position. But the screen setting, awful. The reason there weren't a whole lot of open lanes for passes was because of his awkward moving screens that he was setting tonight against the Detroit Pistons. I thought that is a key component, especially as I've been saying on this podcast, he'll set 4 or 5 in a row for JB. But if 2 or 3 of them are ineffective, you're hurting the offense, cutting seconds off a clock, and cutting down Brunson's opportunities to get off ball, which is the worst of a New York's offense. And that was apparent tonight. And no one stepped up to help except for Deuce and Bryan on the offensive end. Another brilliant night from Deuce, making his case that he should be the 5th starter on this team. If Josh Hart, especially if Josh Hart is not here, why the hell are we going to a double bid lineup that makes you super small on the bench and ineffective in the front court when you're still getting bully balled in the paint with no Jalen Duren? It makes no damn sense why Mike Brown did that.
What's going on, Ryan? You having a passionate family meeting right now?
Yeah, I see. Well, I guess I'll go right quick. 4 losses in a row. I'm trying to be a bit more. I'm trying to have a reason take instead of just going off on the team right now because I'm kind of confused at the moment because the way the team is playing right now is not the Knicks team that I saw earlier this season.
True.
So this leads me to believe that there has to be something going on mentally within the team at the moment because I've seen them as a unit play way better than they've played in these past 4 games. And I wanted to do some research before the game because I wanted to see how past NBA Cup winners fared after they won that NBA Cup. And I want to see if there's something there where, I don't know, maybe the in-season tournament kind of throws off a team or whatever the case may be, maybe due to the mental strain of the tournament or whatever the case may be. And I want to do deeper research into that. I want to see if there's something there because I do recall a stat being displayed early in the season that said that teams who won the NBA Cup get knocked out in the first round of playoffs. Now, I don't think that's the Knicks. I do think the Knicks are way better than that. But I'm trying to, because I don't recall completely how the Bucks, the Lakers, teams who won the NBA Cup in the past played right after they won the Cup. I have a vague memory. I think I recall the Lakers struggling as well after they won the NBA Cup.
Yes.
And I think the Bucks did as well. But I want to make sure and do my research before I just go out and say, like, this is the trend or whatever the case may be. So I think for the next podcast, once I do deeper research, If the Knicks keep on losing, I'll bring up what my findings were on that front. But overall with the game, even when the game started, I thought the Knicks were a step slow. The Pistons came out with great energy. The Pistons came out like a team that wanted to exact their revenge on a team that knocked them out last year in the playoffs and wanted to put their foot down and show the Knicks that they're the best team in the East right now, which is exactly what they did tonight. Even when the Knicks kept the game close early, I never felt in my heart that they were going to win this game.
I felt this, same way.
Because they seem like a step slow throughout the game. And one of the strengths of the Knicks is rebounding. And they got killed on the boards tonight by the Pistons, 44-30. And that rarely happens this season. Only 5 offensive rebounds from the Knicks. Again, rarely happens. And look, like we praised Brunson early in the season for being better defensively, but he's regressed. Recently, he has regressed on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
And I mean, there's a lot that could be said about multiple players on this team. Where was OG Anunoby on the offensive side of the ball?
Trash.
Where was Karl Anthony Towns on the offensive side of the ball?
Trash.
2 guys that are, who's probably our number 2, number 3. Mikal Bridges as well. Only 10 points. Mikal should be contributing more than just 10 points in a game. So there's a lot of things that could be pointed in this game. I felt like the offense regressed back to Thibs era, where it was basically Brunson pound,
Yep.
get his shot and not getting everybody else involved. And look, I understand Brunson is a great player. I'm not taking nothing from him. His offensive bag is elite. But when you're going against an excellent team like the Detroit Pistons, on the offensive side of the ball, you do not go ISO and just have one guy just try to pound, get it and pound the ball and get his shot. You have to move the ball against teams like the Pistons, because at the end of the day, the ball moves faster than the player. You have to incorporate ball movement. You have to incorporate player movement. That's how you beat great defensive teams, and the Knicks did none of that tonight. So it's like not only are you defensively ass in the game, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing on the offensive side of the ball to win the game. So me personally, I think it's something going on mentally with the team right now, because I've seen this team play much better than what they've shown in these past few games. I know people are saying the Knicks are missing Josh Hart. That could very well be the case.
They didn't have Doran and Tobias. I mean, I don't want to say Tobias.
I know. Like, I know the Pistons are missing players too, so I don't want to like. I'm not trying to put that as a narrative, because I know Josh Hart. Yes, he's a very good player. He's an important player on this roster. I get it, but I feel like the problem that we're seeing right now is going beyond just the Knicks missing Josh Hart at the moment. I think personally it's something mentally that's going on with the team, and they need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out fast.
Yeah. Offensively, we seem lost. Defensively, we seem lost. I feel like we didn't really even see like any kind of fight really until like I saw like maybe a heartbeat, maybe the third quarter defensively, where we got like actual multiple stops. But besides that, I didn't really see. It looked like I was watching a Pistons team that was pissed they lost in the playoffs last year, and they were holding that until today, and we were just kind of like, this is another game. Like that's what it seemed like to me, and I feel like it's like we didn't even attempt to compete defensively until maybe the third quarter.
I'm gonna push back. I agree 90% of what Ryan said. I'm gonna push back again, as I did last pod, on the mental fatigue. I don't think it's a good enough excuse, especially since Brown is going at least somewhat deep into the rotation with Kevin McCullough Jr., like actually earning very important minutes, as well as Tyler Kolek. This team, there were a lot of defensive miscues, things that we were like, is it Tibbs? Is it the players? We're seeing it again. And I think it's a coaching decision. What JL was pointing out last game, not guarding at the level on 3-point shooters. Again, we saw that tonight, not getting up on shooters, giving them way too much space to pass, going under screens on guys that I understand maybe on Cade Cunningham, but once he hits 2-3, adjust the defensive coverage. start going up, fighting through it, or switch and let a bigger player get on him. I thought when OG Anunoby was actually on him in the second quarter and
That's
started
what
the
they did.
third,
Yeah.
I thought he started getting him out of rhythm.
Exactly.
But then you let guys like Javonte Green and Tyler Jenkins get straight into the lane and dunk all over you. So I'm like, are we only capable of adjusting one thing at a time? Can we not have any defensive IQ outside of Mitch? Really be the only one who was guarding two at a time in pick and roll? I thought Mitch was super solid overall today defensively. The offensive rebounding was as impactful as it usually is. But Detroit, all five guys crashed the boards. It helps when your point guard sits 8 for you to be able to do that. How about the coverage on Jalen Brunson was really smart and shrewd as well. And no one stepped up to help him. Individually, we have guys we talked about. Who's the second option? Is it Cat? Is it Brunson? Is it Bridges? Is it OG? I'm not sure anymore. And I meant that in a positive way the first time. Now I'm like, wow, you need a little bit of defense on these guys, and they don't just miss. There's like a passivity, a softness to his team that's very scary to an optimist like me. That's like, we're winning the chip. I'm jumping out the window, 60 burger, finals. There's a real non-championship level soft mentality and soft physicality to this roster. The way the roster is constructed, but can only be mitigated and fixed through a trade. And I'm usually anti-trade. I don't think the trade is going to happen this season until the summer. But I think if we don't win this chip this year, there has to be some changes that be made to bring in guys of more toughness. Because that Cat at the 5 and Brunson at the 1 is going to get killed no matter who you play, the Detroit Pistons or the Washington Wizards.
The only reason I'm taking the stance I'm taking is like, I agree with you 100%. Like, the issue that we're seeing, a lot of these issues been there throughout the season. But the reason why I'm thinking it's something mentally going on with the team right now is because despite those issues, they found ways to defend. They found ways to defend not just well, like great in some games. So I know this team as a whole is capable of doing a better defensive job when they're on the court. That's why I think it's mentally. If the Knicks were defending like this all season, I would have been like, you know what? 100%. The team's ass defensively. These are errors that the only way you can correct it is through a trade and this and that. But I've seen them defend better. So that's why I'm thinking it has to be something mentally going on with the squad, because I'm like, you can't be defending the way you were defending when it went on that stretch in November, December, and then all of a sudden just drop off tremendously, in January. Like, something has to be going on. It has to be more than just schemes. It has to be more than just, coaching staff implementing certain schemes or whatever the case may be, and the players are not following it, or the players are following it and the coaching staff is wrong with their schemes. Like, that's why I feel like it's something more. If this was a consistent thing with this team where I'm like, every game I've seen them play, their defending is terrible, that would have been like, yeah, you know what? You're 100% right. Let's make a trade to try to correct these errors on the team. But it's because I've seen them defend much better than they're defending right now. That's why I'm thinking it has to be something going on mentally.
I think the trade is going to have to be significant. I don't think it's a minor fringe move in order to improve a defense. It's going to be a major one this upcoming summer. Like, either Bridges or Cat has to be gone. I'll just go ahead and say it. It's one of those two. And you're right. I agree that the defense was good in spots and very good for stretches in November and December. I think guys are playing above their average defense. Jalen Brunson was playing the best defense of his life. We said even Karl-Anthony Towns, all of us agreed, was playing some of the best defense of his life too. That's regressed back to the mean. And I think Mikal Bridges also has taken a step back again defensively. He's getting cooked. It's not even Wingstop anymore. OG Anunoby's about to try and do everything. Now we got to put OG Anunoby on the guard, on the big, on the wing. Every team we play, he has to be on the best player. Victor Wembanyama one night, Zion Williamson the next. It's like, bro, this guy doesn't get a rest. He's going to burn out. We've seen it before. He's going to get injured and burned out. And now who's going to step up? You don't depend on Kevin McCullough Jr. Is now Diawara dusted off the bench and now out of rhythm and trying to play the minutes that he is, or help supplement the minutes. It's a disaster roster build to try to make up for your weak point of attack at the 1 and weak point of attack at the 5. That is compromised and I've said this over and over again. It will never be fixed till one of those two guys is gone and Brunson's never leaving. So what are you going to do with Karl-Anthony Towns? You move to the 4, and now he's no longer optimized offensively. We're not even using him as a hub anymore. We had him as a hub for 2 months straight. We're running the offense through him at that elbow spot. He never even sees it there anymore. He only gets it as that lob pass into the post where he tries to do a back end, and usually it leads into an offensive foul or a turnover or some stupid way advanced pass that doesn't fit the moment. So I don't know what you do, guys. I don't know how you fix this. I'm not smart enough in basketball to figure it out because Mitchell Robinson is too limited with minutes, and OG Anunoby is trying to cover too many guys' asses.
And I was about to actually lead that today, Lee. The Karl Anthony Towns, the defense is bad for sure. But what are we not doing correctly with Karl Anthony Towns? Why? Like, Karl Anthony Towns is a polarizing player for sure.
Very.
Like, I will say this all the frustrations that happened today, you know, I'm not hold on, I'm a preference what I'm saying by saying this. I am absolutely not blaming the refs for why we lost today. I'm starting off by saying that. The refs are not why we lost today. Okay. At the same time, though, Karl Anthony Towns in particular still gets a really funny whistle.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're allowed to be physical with him, but he's not allowed to be physical back. And I do feel like that took him out of rhythm because, like, even like the first 2 fouls he got, like they would initiate the contact with their arm and he would like brush it away and he would get called in the foul. I've seen that happen like 2 or 3 times. Again, I'm not saying this is why we lost. They kicked our ass. We turned the ball over. We didn't rebound. We couldn't guard, all that. I'm just talking about specifically Karl Anthony Towns tonight. I don't know what the hell was happening with the refs, but the refs still give him a weird whistle. 1, 2, we still have to find other ways to utilize Karl Anthony Towns outside of I'm throwing you the ball at the top and you cut off ball and I give you the touchdown pass off ball. Like Lee said, maybe posting on the elbow, maybe posting him after some action. Like I feel like Karl Anthony Towns is getting too lost in the sauce sometimes. Which is why I feel like the coaching staff needs to look at this in particular. When we talk about the offense and how it runs and where we're getting our looks, I'm looking at the coaching staff. The coaching, one of the main reasons this coaching staff is here right now is to prevent a stagnant offense. So if we have all these all-star pieces, corner 3 boys, Karl Anthony Towns, best shooting big man in the game, Jalen Brunson, ISO player, and we're still not getting shots, we have to start to look, okay, why aren't we, what offensive sets are we not running? What are we not utilizing well? And I feel like that has to be looked at as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I do see a difference with how Cat is being used as well, because it seems like now, like the way they're using Cat now is the way Thibs use Cat. Like Cat is just standing on the perimeter where they give him the ball and then he's either taking the 3 or he's just driving to the basket, which is primarily how it was used on the Thibs. And earlier in the season, we were using Cat in multiple ways. Cat was in the post. Sometimes you throw the ball to him in the post, and then he would use his power to overpower his defender and get to the basket. He'd get himself an easy basket. You know, like Lee said earlier, we would use Cat as a hub where Cat would have the ball, survey the floor, players would move off ball, cut, and then Cat would be able to find them for the easy basket. Like, we're using Cat in so many different ways, and now it's like we regress back to how we're using Cat last season. So that I think is on the coaching staff. Like, why are you not continuing to use Cat in several different ways, and you pretty much reverted back to how the old coach used Cat? Like, come on now.
It's also on Cat too. He's been weak mentally. He gets those offensive fouls. He starts flaring his arms and hooking people with his arms and punching people in the chest with his elbows. It's like, bro, that's on you. You start putting your head down and bully ball into the paint, or you're chucking half-court threes. That's not impacting winning. That's not offense within the flow of the team. That's ISO ball, essentially. You're icing everybody else out, and you're just trying to get yourself back into rhythm. And this question right here by at FSN 6897. I haven't seen you before in the chat. Welcome. I'm glad to see you in the chat. You've been making some great comments here. Very active as well. I love it. This question, I would say right now, it's number 2. I would put Cat, because in this game specifically, I'm blaming Brunson as number 1. In this game specifically. But for the season and this recent down stretch, which has been, as I said, the worst defense I've ever seen from this damn team in my 25 years as a fan, which was statistically verified by Tommy Beer today, that it was the worst plus-minus defensively in any stretch in the last 25 years. Is a wild stat. I thought I was being hyperbolic when I said that, but I looked at the stats backing up the eye test. I would say Mike Brown is number 2 overall after Karl Anthony Towns. I think Mike Brown's rotations have gotten progressively worse as the season has gone on. His minutes distribution has gotten progressively worse as the minutes gone on. The way that he's paired Brunson with other guards has made the defense worse. Everything he's doing is compromising the offense and defense at the same time. Where happened to the experimentation and the adjustments? Why are guys in doghouses when they haven't been really earning that doghouse? Why is Zebra selling the doghouse, in my opinion, and Karl-Anthony Towns is not, when they're both playing the same level of ass-crack defense? Why is Muhammad Diawara in the doghouse, but someone like Mikal Bridges is not, when they're playing the same level of effort defensively? And the output offensively is both passive. Why? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So that, to me, that reminds me too much of a Tom Thibodeau era where there were no answers and a lot of question marks and felt like it was one man making bad decisions with no pushback. But this was to be way more collaboration. We hired this guy because he doesn't really have a mind of his own. He just takes input from everybody. This is what I was worried about when we hired him, because I saw trends where when things weren't working, he wouldn't adjust, and he didn't maximize the defensive floor of a team. He always went for the offensive ceiling of a team. He's trying to do that again with this New York Knicks. The defense is not championship level, and we ain't going to win with that shit.
When you're talking about percentages of whether it's coach versus player versus, to me, it might be like 60-40 for this game. 60-40 coach. Because like I said, I didn't like he specifically brought here to bring off-ball movement, bring an offensive flow to this team, and he actually has, for the most part. Our passes per game has been up, our scoring is up. We're number 3 offense in the league. But if we're talking about today, whether you didn't push the right buttons, whether you didn't call the right plays, I didn't really see a lot of open shots at all today, and I'm just like, to me, that's a coaching thing. So I'm gonna say 60-40, and then you get to the players. It's like the players also aren't producing when they're getting the chance as well. So I'm saying 60-40 coach players. That's how I see it.
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna answer that question, I think right now you probably have to blame the coaching staff more than anything at the moment. There has been lack of adjustments lately, and the team is not looking like the same Knicks team that we saw early in the season. So you can either look at the players, you can look at the coaches, but the fact that the Knicks have been adjusting poorly as of late, you really can't put that all on the players. The coaches are supposed to see the game and notice things and notice, like, okay, you know what? This team is running this play and we're having trouble stopping it. Let's implement this to try to slow them down or whatever the case may be. And a lot of that's not really happening. So you have to really look at the coaches and be like, you know, the coaches got to step their game up.
Yeah.
Real quickly, the 2 biggest indictments to me on Mike Brown. Number one is this team is soft, and we've lost some of that competitive edge that we had under Tom Thibodeau. If I'm gonna give I give Tibbs a fair amount of credit. I think the best thing he did was establish that level of competitive spirit. We weren't always the best prepared, even though he always said that. We got steamed out a lot and out coached a lot, but guys always fought to the very end. We saw some of that this season. It's starting to taper off a little bit. This game was the best example of that. And number 2 is the fact that Jalen Brunson still spends the most time on ball or than any other player in the NBA. To me, that's unacceptable. For that not to change, for that to be the same under Tom Thibodeau and the same under Mike Brown, either both coaches are incompetent and reining him in, or Jalen Brunson has a massive ego problem. I think both are true, personally. I think Brunson does have an ego problem and doesn't get off a damn ball. I think he's loving being that first option so much, and he's one of the best first options in the NBA. I understand that. But you look at the other guys in the NBA, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Kate Cunningham, Joker, they're not on the ball as much as Jalen Brunson. He doesn't need to be first. If he's top 5, I probably wouldn't say anything. Top 10, I certainly wouldn't say anything. But first again, under 2 different coaches, it's also a certain amount of time on him and his ego as well.
I'm sorry. That's completely out of balls to me. I'm
with
sorry.
0 assists? How the hell is it?
Kim and Cal Bridges and OG Anunoby dribble 2 dribbles in a row.
I don't disagree with that. But
so what are we saying here?
That backs up my argument.
So what are we saying here? What are
I'm
we
saying? Jalen Brunson's on ball too much. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying the only time I've seen Jalen Brunson look comfortable off ball is when Tyler Kolik's in the game.
He's on ball more than Cade Cunningham, and Cade Cunningham doesn't have a backup point guard. There's no backup point guard on Detroit.
But they're
and
still
Cade Cunningham's
scoring
on the
on
ball
us.
less than Brunson.
They're
Make it
still
make
scoring
sense.
on us. When Jalen Brunson gives us the ball, what does anybody do? What has happened when Jalen Brunson didn't have the ball?
He's on ball too much. I'm not arguing the specific semantics of when he's on ball. Is he on ball too much? That's a yes or no question.
That's not what you asked. That's not what you're saying. You're changing the argument, though. You're saying he's an ego problem, and that's why he's on ball.
If you're on ball that much with the two coaches, ego has to play a part.
Look at the
Ego's
results.
a part of sports.
If I give the ball up and everybody's getting a damn turnover and not getting a shot up, and I'm the only one who can get a good shot, is that an ego problem, or is that the team is not performing and I'm trying to keep my team afloat?
That specific angle, that's a team's problem, not Jalen
That's what I'm saying. So when Mikal Bridges can't dribble, Karl Anthony Towns has 6 turnovers and 6 points, OG Anunoby has 5 points, Mitch can't shoot or dribble, what is he supposed to do?
Because we've seen Mikal Bridges be able to be a playmaker. He was our we all coined him the central backup playmaker on this roster. He's been notching 5 assists per game for the last month and a half. He's capable of doing it. He wasn't capable of doing it tonight, which then it becomes a point guard's job to put those guys in positions to be able to succeed. And Cade was able to do it on his end for 13 dimes, and Brunson was unable to do it on his for 0 assists and 6 turnovers.
When Cade gives the ball up, people are scoring and doing something with the ball. When Brunson gets the ball up, it's a turnover and a missed shot.
Yeah, I would say that that's because Cade puts the ball in people's hands in better positions than Brunson does. I don't think that's something that you would argue. Why would you argue that? He's just a better playmaker overall. It's one of his strengths. Shooting his Brunson.
Getting playmaker. We're getting out athleted, dog. Like,
I agree with that too.
It's not like, oh, he's a better playmaker and he's making some incredible plays. They're giving the ball to somebody and they're straight line driving and pulling up. They're not doing anything crazy. Like, it was like, oh, he passed the ball between 3 people. No. Most of these guys are running up and shooting, or either shooting over smaller guys or missing it, getting a rebound and kicking it out for open shots. There was no crazy playmaking.
On Detroit's side, I thought there's some excellent passing by Cade Cunningham tonight. I thought he was on his maestro bad. I thought he made some excellent passes. The cutters, excellent passes as a driving kick facilitator. I thought he was honestly way better than Brunson. I'm not bashing Brunson's playmaker ability. I'm saying Cade is better. But I also agree with you that there's nuance to this discussion. Yes. But at the end of the day, is Brunson on ball too much? I think that's something I'm not
saying he's not on ball too much. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's on ball too much. I'm saying what happens when Jalen Brunson is off ball. That's what I'm saying.
For the whole season, it's been pretty awesome.
I'm talking about today. Yeah, I'm not talking about all season. I'm talking about today. Whenever Jalen Brunson was not in the game, it was awful. Whenever anybody outside of Tyler Kolek had the ball, it was awful. Even with Tyler Kolek only having 9 points and a -6, your vision is telling you he's the only one who can actually do something with the ball outside of Jalen Brunson with this pressure defense. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And we seem to also, all three of us agree that Jalen Brunson's on ball too much. I think being number 1 in the NBA is a problem. Under 2 different coaches, that's a problem too. There's multiple problems here. And I do think ego plays a part. And I don't necessarily mean ego is a bad thing either. It can be bad. But every great superstar has to have ego. I think sometimes that ego can influence a team in a negative way. I think one of the things that Knicks is influenced by Jalen Brunson's ego in a negative way is being on ball too much and going ISO too much when the defense is shutting off all of their valves. Instead of trying to run more plays to get guys more involved, he just throws total hero ball. Even if you're getting blitzed, even if you're getting doubled and trapped, he still tries to dribble through it and leads into turnovers and bad passes.
And here's where I disagree with you. Because there's a time where I'm like, there was perfect example. There was a game where Mikal Bridges was going off in the 4th quarter, right? And I'm like, Mikal Bridges is hot. Jalen Brunson, you don't have to take the shot. Give it to Mikal Bridges. If he doesn't get to Mikal Bridges, knowing Mikal Bridges has it going, then you can say, yes, Jalen Brunson, you should pass the ball. When nobody has it going, I don't look at it the same way. If I'm the only one who can make a play and nobody on the entire team has it going outside of me on the floor, to me, that's not an ego thing. That's I have to keep my team afloat thing.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with that because when you look at the shot selection, There's only 2 guys in double digits. One is Mikal Bridges with 11, and he was decent from the perimeter, 2 of 4. And then you have Brunson's ass with 21 shots, 21, 11, and then the other starters are 3, 4, 3. That's a problem to me. That's a major issue to me.
And this is why we go in the circle. And this is why we go in the circle, because it's bringing back to my argument in the first quarter. I've seen mad screens. I've seen all these off-court cuts, and I saw nobody open the entire time. Then I see Jalen Brunson give the ball to somebody else, and it just leads into a turnover.
Sometimes that gravity has to be used as a decoy. So if you're getting blitz, you're getting double like he was. They were trapping him, and he was still trying to dribble through it, which also led to those 6 turnovers that he had. Or it's a bad pass that was also someone playing the gaps and predicting where he was going to send it. You had to use your gravity to find the people who are open.
And that's
the
why
level
the
of shot attempts we saw, it's not like they were missing. They weren't even getting 3 shots for OG Anunoby. Is absurd. And it's a point guard's responsibility to get that. It's not the center's responsibility or the power forwards. It's his as a point guard to get his teammates involved the way Cade did with 13 dimes compared to Brunson with 0.
What happens when your offense is scouted? Because we already know. We've seen this. We watch this team all season long. We already know, like clockwork, you're taught to run to the corners. How many times was this no corner guy open? How many times did we see somebody pass the ball to the corner and somebody was already there waiting for it? Perfect example. Jordan Clarkson goes down the middle of the hole. He gets double teamed. He's looking. The guy stunts to Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson looks right to the corner. The guy recovers right to the corner, picks the ball off. We are scouted. There was no freaking passing lanes. This is what I'm telling you. When there's no passing lanes and you give the ball up and no one else can make the play, what do you do? That's what I'm saying.
So you put 0 responsibility or criticism, because I haven't heard.
I'm blaming the coach. I'm blaming the coach. I'm blaming the coach. I'm blaming the coach. I'm blaming the coach.
You don't have any criticism of Jalen Brunson.
I'm saying he didn't play well. Yes, his defense is not as good. It was not good. Yes, he gets cooked. It's digressed. I'll say that all the time today. But listen, offensively, shots, 0 assists, 6 turnovers. You have no criticism of that? Where are the passing lanes? That's what I'm saying.
So nothing is fault.
If there's a percentage, I feel like it's 80% on the coach. When it comes to the way Jalen Brunson has been going, I feel like it's 80% on the coach.
We definitely disagree severely. Yeah.
Because when you're looking at the game and you're seeing off-ball action and you're seeing nobody's open, what do you do?
I see when we play the number 1 team in the NBA, and Jalen Brunson with a game where he shoots double everybody else, literally double everybody else, and has 0 assists, we get beat by 31. That's what I see. That's not
okay. So let's back it up. Let's back it up. Before what was working, right? Before what was working was Mikal Bridges is essentially playing point guard. That's what's been going on, right? When Jalen Brunson is not playing point guard, Mikal Bridges has been playing point guard. And when Mikal Bridges has been playing point guard, he's been having career high in assists. What did he have in assists today? He had 1 assist today. He was a negative 13 today. He had 11 shots today. He was 4 of 11. What was Mikal Bridges doing? Was he successful as a point guard today?
No.
So when the point guard wasn't successful as a point guard, where the secondary option isn't successful, OG Anunoby isn't successful, where do you go from there? You go to Cat, right?
Or you go to your point guard to set up the offense and run the plays that you've been running all season that have led to the 2nd seed in the East. That didn't happen tonight. I don't think there's any way you can look at 0 assists and say it's only 10, 15% Brunson's fault. I think it's perfectly fine to blame Brunson when the deserve. How often do I get on here and do any type of criticism on Brunson? I'm not a Brunson hater.
I'm not saying you're a Brunson hater.
But tonight, I'm criticizing him. And I'm not saying he's at fault for the majority of the season. I put Cat number 1. Sorry, David Smith. And I put Mike Brown, the coaching staff, number 2. Brunson's probably number 7, 8 overall in the season. But tonight specifically, Brunson to me, 0 assists, double shots over everybody else, and 6 turnovers. I put number 1 him, Mike Brown 2, Cat 3. That's my order.
Well, this is a very entertaining argument. I was thoroughly entertained seeing Jay Ellison go at it.
So are the people.
I think
3:30 right now. Damn.
I think I'm kind of. I partially agree with Lee and I partially agree with Jay. Like I'm kind of in the middle on this because I watched the game. there was lack of off-ball movement. Guys, when the guys had the ball, they couldn't produce. So I understand why Brunson would be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put the onus on my back to be like, you know what? I'm gonna carry this team and try to get them over the hump. I get that aspect of it. But then at the same time, I'm like, and that's where I think it's coaching, because why are you not running plays for the players to get them open? You know what I mean? Like, you can't just always depend on the point guard to just try to manipulate defenses and be like, okay, you know, I'm gonna get this guy open shot, I'm gonna get that guy open shot. Sometimes you need plays to be called to get guys open, especially against good defenses. So that's why I blame the coaching staff.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I blame the coaching staff for not helping Brunson in that aspect. But at the same time, I do think there were plays in the game where Brunson was dribbling way too much for a possession and trying to get a shot, and a lot of times that did result into turnovers. So I do think that it's equal blame. Like, some of the blame is on the coaching, some of the blame is on Brunson. But if I have to pick who deserves the blame more, I do lean more towards the coaching staff, just for the simple fact that where are the plays being run for other players to get them open when Brunson has the ball? And you look at this game, the only other guy Brunson could trust tonight is McBride. McBride was the only other guy who was really scoring on a consistent basis.
It's incredible.
You know, nobody else was really scoring on the team. So it's like, so it's kind of like, does Brunson deserve blame tonight? Yes, but at the same time, I do think, like, what do you really expect him to do in certain situations if other guys are not producing? And we all know Brunson is not a playmaking point guard. Brunson is more of a scoring point guard. So that's where I'm like, that's where the coaching staff has to help Brunson to be more of a playmaker. You run plays where Brunson's gravity can get guys open. But you know, I'm not a coach, so I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you know, what I'm saying is 100% correct, you know, or whatever the case may be. But that's the way I see it. I do think there's blame on both sides, but slightly more towards the coaching staff, because you have to run plays to get other guys open, especially against a team with a good defense like the Pistons.
And I want to say one other thing too. Like, I hated the small guard lineup tonight, especially. But if you're going to do the small guard lineup, you give Clarkson the short rope, and you do Kolick, Brunson, McBride if you're going to do a small guard lineup. If you're going to do that in some points. Although I felt like Lee said earlier, there needs to be more Diawara. Like, I feel like today for sure there needs to be more Diawara. But I do feel like sometimes when the last few games, there was problems getting into the offense, and it's like, I want Deuce's shooting out there, but also I see Deuce struggling to make plays as well. And then it's like, now you're back to Brunson being on ball too much. And this is why I'm like, if we're gonna do small guard, maybe it's Kolick, Brunson, Deuce, because at least Deuce is gonna hold up some more defensively and give you that reliable shooting. That's all I really have to say.
Agreed. Chat's going crazy too. Shout out to chat, man. Chat is active. This is the most active I've ever seen the chat in all my years being on KOT. Chat is nonstop, bro.
That's because we screaming at each other.
By the way, it is all love. This is basketball. None of the shit personal. This is my number one guy right here. I love this man.
Facts.
He's not real.
And the thing is, this only happens when the Knicks are losing, because when the Knicks are winning, everybody's all happy. Everybody's like, yeah, you know, Knicks are winning. You know, I love this fella, that fella. But when the team is losing, that's when the arguments start, because everybody's like, what the hell? And everybody needs to let out their anger and let out their frustration.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, and this is what I like about Leah. Like, we can scream at each other on the stream, and we both know, like, this is nothing personal.
I take nothing personal.
Yeah, I don't take anything personal. This is strictly basketball, and it is what it is.
Great debate. Also a great debate. Great, as a fan, hell, man, I see people in the chat like, this is better than the game. This is Cade versus Brunson. You kidding me?
Oh my gosh! All right, I'm done screaming.
Me too.
I got it all in my system. I really wanted to get this out of my system, and I'm a end by saying this. We're super emotional right now. It's a 4-game losing streak. We haven't had a 4-game losing streak. By all intents and purposes, next week could be a different week, and we can forget about this and laugh and go on a winning streak. You just don't know. That's what makes the NBA because you can be pissed and then all of a sudden you run off 7, 8, 9 in a row. Like we've seen this team. We've been in the same situation talking about fire tips a few years ago. Then he wins 9 in a row. So as passionate as we are, as you know, people talking about trades and all that other stuff, it might. Hey, listen, we all fans from our couch. We might have to make a trade. We don't know. We don't know, but it could also just be a lull, and we run off some games and we're back on track. That's the fun part of the NBA, and that's the fun part of the season. So hopefully it's just a lull, and we get right back to it. And yeah, that's all. Are you not entertained though? Damn it! Oh man, if you like the show, man, hit that like and subscribe. Shout out to my guy, and shout out to my guy NYK Terry and Trey. Dog, you have an open invitation to come on this panel. Listen, you ain't gotta. If you like y'all want to come up here right now, you can come up. I don't care if you in your PJs. Well, I care a little bit, but you can come up. All right, if you're still in the building. But salute to the chat. Listen, when we started the show, we were 11 away from 9,000 followers. We're trying to get to 10,000. Before you get to 10,000, you got to get to 9,000. So please help us so I can put up the Dragon Ball Z meme over 9,000. I've been waiting to put that up for the YouTube. All right, for all my Dragon Ball Z nerds. All right.
We got one. We're only 10 subscribers away, not 11 anymore.
All right, well, that's what's up. We got one. Somebody saw us arguing and decided to subscribe. So if somebody was entertained by us arguing, you can subscribe as well. I'm not gonna promise you we're gonna argue all the time, but sometimes it doesn't happen that often, but we do get into debates for sure. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. Of course, appreciate the subscribers. Appreciate you too, Lee. All right. Mm-hmm. Salute to the chat. Shout out to Jabroni, Bonner Lee, Frezin, Sammy Suna. Have I seen Sammy Suna before? I don't know. Anna Grill, Alexander, the Predicate. I'm trying to shout out everybody because there's a lot of people today. Prezi the Boss.
Still going.
Right behind. Everybody rocking with the show. DJ Space Ghost. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe. We have to every game. Also, shout out to the super chats. I'm the beauty 499 super chat. I don't think I've really seen. Okay, it's your first super chat, right? Shout out to you.
Hey,
I appreciate you. Super chats are welcome, and it helps keep the lights going. You gotta pay for subscriptions and all sorts of crap. You would think this stuff is free, but we giving you a free show, so we appreciate the subscriptions to help pay for this crap. Okay, so we don't have to come out of pocket. It says if Cat doesn't get a whistle, he stays stagnant for no call. Now you're right.
Yes, he does.
You think the refs? I can't. Hold on.
You think the refs and players don't see that as a weakness?
They do.
They absolutely do.
Yep.
They absolutely do. They absolutely do.
Sue Beauty cooking.
There was also another super chat from.
I got you.
Alice Calendar says no chemistry between our two best players.
Ooh, I hate that she's right, but she's right.
Yeah,
it's been that way too. It's not a new thing.
It has been that way. We haven't really seen a lot of pick and roll between Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, even last season. You thought that would be a staple, like a go-to thing. We haven't even seen it this season. So you're right. We absolutely not. We need more chemistry between our two best players, and we seem to not run plays for them. Most of the times when Cat goes off, it's when Brunson is on the bench and he's running the second unit. That's usually when he starts to get cooking. But you're absolutely right. Okay, well, the ladies are with the super chats tonight.
I know. I love that.
Yeah, salute to the ladies. All right, listen, we growing, man. We got ladies now. All right, we got like I seen their statistics. I think there's like 0.7 ladies who follow us now. I think we're like 0.9 right now. So shout out to them.
Numbers growing.
One subscriber at a time. Okay, one subscriber at a time. All right, yo. Do you have any bro picks? Do you have any bro picks?
Yeah, I got a couple bro picks.
All right, before you go, because there's a lot of people in the chat. 7 away. Hold on, we 7 away.
No!
We are 7 away. Some more people liked us screaming at each other. And was like, you know what? I subscribe to them screaming at you. I'm gonna subscribe to. We appreciate you. All right.
Shout out Fritz, man.
All right. Also shout out to JT Riddick who sends a 999 super chat. It says, salute. Listen, until Cade sends us home in the playoffs, he ain't better than Cap. Listen, JT Riddick. I was gonna say that during the heat of the argument, but I went off on another tangent. But listen, man, prove it when the game costs the most, man.
I hope he never does. I don't ever want to get sent home.
Me neither.
I don't get sent. Not by Detroit. We'll never hear the end of it.
All right. Shout out to JT Riddick, aka the trainer in my head. All right. All right. If you don't know, he's a wrestler. He's swole. Shout out to my guy JT. All right, yo. Now it's time for the part of the show, the bruh picks. Oops. Bruh picks are usually something stupid, dumb, idiotic that you want to point out and say something stupid, dumb, idiotic. Could be basketball related or whatever. We try to keep it basketball. Even it's been real political lately, but we try to keep it basketball for the most part. All right, Ryan G, let us know what your bruh picks are today.
Yeah, I got a couple bruh picks. My first bruh pick goes to the Detroit Pistons cheerleaders, dances, whatever you want to call them, because I don't know if y'all saw the video. But at halftime, they were trolling Cat with the whole zesty movement. And it's like, you're going to do that at halftime and the Knicks don't come out with some fire under them to try to come back in this game and try to win it? Like, come on, man.
Bruh. Yeah. I feel you on that.
And my next ball pick goes to the refs. Because not in this game, though. Warriors versus the Thunder, because everyone knows Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has probably the best whistle in the game. We know this. Players can blow on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the refs will call a foul. And pause. I forgot that pause. But
not on national. Okay, never mind.
But yeah, players can just barely even touch him, and people are gonna and the refs are gonna be like he got mauled. So in the game against the Golden State Warriors, there was a play where Horford was guarding SGA. SGA faded and went up for a shot. Horford didn't even touch this dude, and the refs called a foul on the play. And if you saw the Warriors, and if you saw the bench reaction from the Warriors, they were like, what the hell is going on? And it's like, that's what happens when you have the best whistle in the game. People don't even have to touch you. You just go for a shot. If the shot is off, refs are like, that got to be a foul because that shot's off.
Yeah.
That has to be a foul.
I feel you. Yeah. They think he got that's who they think Jalen Brunson is. Huh?
Who pick Alexander 2026? Yo, my
man. Okay.
Okay, I see that.
Amen, clutch.
Shout out to Alexander. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. All right. That's all?
Yes, I only got a couple broad picks.
That's cool. You getting it right there. All right, yo. When is the next game, Kyle? I feel like we're on a road trip right now.
It's Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay. Next game is Wednesday. I feel like I'm missing out on some news. I feel like some news happened today that I should mention, and I'm forgetting something. Trae Young.
Oh yeah, he got a broad pick too.
He's working with his agent on a trade. He's working with his agent on a trade. They're suspecting within the next 48 hours he'll be traded.
Yeah.
And Washington seems to be number one team he might go to. Which I asked myself, does that help our pick or not help our pick? Because he doesn't really impact I think CJ McCollum impacts winning more than him, who's supposed to be the swap.
Oh, CJ to the listen, Hawks. Trae Young, I hope you go off just a little bit. So if you get extra first, because you bring him to like a top.
That would be wild.
Oh my gosh.
A straight draft.
Ooh, yeah, that would be wild. So
Yes, sir.
I'm rooting for that trade to help
Me
the
too.
Wizards short term. All right.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
And
And the Knicks face the Clippers next at home, and then they go on that West Coast road
Ooh,
trip.
they're playing good right now.
Yeah.
Kawhi's going off.
OG Anunoby, man, lace up those sneakers.
Man.
All right, man. We are gonna pray to the basketball gods because the games don't get any easier. All right.
Not at all.
Then we play the Suns, who are on a fire. They beat OKC today.
Yeah.
Bro.
Does not get any easier.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's definitely gonna be rough.
We need to lace up our sneakers and just do it. All right. All right, yo. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Lee, let them know they can find you, man.
Hate me, love me, follow me on Twitter @_Lee Escobedo, LEEESCOBEDO. A new Substack article that I published on yesterday on the defense, why it's been so ass, why I think there's a lot of optimism on why it can be fixed as a team, but it's going to require Josh Hart to be back. And yeah, and just I try to do some breakdowns of what I've seen over the last couple of games that have led to us being so bad defensively. And I've been embedding KOT shorts and videos into it as well, so that you can see some of the concepts and continuing conversations I'm having in Substack that started here on the channel.
All right, salute to Lee. All right. Ryan G, let them know they can find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. I haven't tweeted in mad long, yo. I need to really be more active on Twitter, but life be life. And sometimes I don't be having the time sometimes. And I'm also on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIR. G is CHILLIN.
All right. You can find us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook as well. Also, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. All right. Shout out to the new subscribers, man. Hopefully you enjoy the new content. And that is the show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
shout out the World Wide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here with these Knick streets. That's the show. We out of here.
Peace.
York, New York, big city of dreams.